Started at 4:30 yesterday afternoon, the Belgian flag flying high over this most magnificent of circuits for the 70th running of the Spa 24 Hours. Front row was Aston Martin on pole position from Audi in second place, but it was the Audi in the hands of René Rast that got the job done and led into Eau Rouge. Behind them, right at the back of the field, the number 7 Bentley starting from pit exit, stone last. The number 1 Audi, one of the possible front runners, had a 3-minute stop and go penalty at the end of the first lap, put it way down to the back of the field. Little bits of contact in the opening laps, then 3 cars coming into the pits, and there's one having a little flame out, the Team Parker Racing Bentley. No further problems for that car at that point in the race. Going very well, and leading the AM class was Chris Harris in the 188 McLaren from Garage 59. But what was really starting to happen was the Aston Martin number 62 taking the lead of the race, and then full course yellow, the 89 Mercedes, off in the barriers at Radillon. No damage for the driver, most fortunately, but in the course of a safety car period in the yellow, full course yellow, the field would bunch up, some would move forward, but here was one car not moving forward. It was the the SMP Racing Ferrari, got a clout up at Les Combes, got the puncture, but not as big a hit as the 97 Aston Martin from the Oman Sport team, and unfortunately Ewan McKay to the side of the circuit, a full course yellow period all over again. Plenty of debris out on the circuit, that had to be cleared up. And the number 8 Bentley came to the front of the field and was able to dictate the pace on the release. Unfortunately, those behind got a little bit concertinaed at the bus stop. The 63 Lamborghini clattering into the back of the 58 McLaren. That would require 2 pit stops. The 63 Lamborghini, much longer repairs, and then they had to be brought in for a 30-second drive through stop and go penalty for causing that incident at the bus stop. So as the sun was getting lower in the sky, the number 8 Bentley leading the way, and unfortunately for the 14 Costa-driven Lexus, that rear puncture and a spin, that dropped them right down the order. And then, what's wrong? There's a car limping home on 3 wheels. Didn't make it home. Stuart Leonard couldn't get back after shedding the left rear wheel down at Curve Paul Frere. Strike one of the WRT Audis out of the race. Lights ablaze. Photographers in the magic hour. And a magical save there, it has to be said, off at no less a corner than Blanchimont went Jules Simkowiak. And for those waiting their turn in the pits, patience was required. Herbert Motorsport Porsche needing repairs, very smoky in the pit lane. And how's that for smoke in the pit lane? But of the better sort, the accelerating away hard sort for the number 8 Bentley crew. Tyre carcasses had to be rescued from the circuit by brave and athletic marshals. The blood moon over Spa-Francorchamps, as if you needed anything to make the place look more fabulous in the night. Couple of clashes up at the bus stop chicane there, the 488 Ferrari losing out, and we lost Rubens Barrichello from the race. You could see sparking his way into the pits and retirement for the Straka Racing Mercedes crew. Spa 24 Hours always has a concert in the night on the outside of the Eau Rouge corner. That is the Eau Rouge corner. So action on and off the track. Team Parker Racing Bentley coming in for a standard looking pit stop, and all along that number 4 Black Falcon Mercedes working its way towards the front. The 29 Land Motorsport Audi very much in the mix as well, but really the story of the race at this point was the ascent of the BMWs, helped by problems for some of their rivals, most notably the number 8 Bentley spending time in the pits that caused Maxime Soulet to wipe his brow with frustration as well as a little bit of exhaustion. And through the night we had conditions getting harder and harder to see around the circuit, lots of tyre debris at the exit and lots of spins in all sorts of strange places around the course. And then a scary looking moment for Stefan Ortelli. That was the 114 Lexus out of the race, and then the Ombra Racing Lamborghini having a moment of its own. As you can see, fantastic camera work as cars running out wide on the exit of the Les Combes corners. In the pits though, the 34 BMW continued its rise up the order. 01 was the number on the windscreen. First place for Walkenhorst Motorsport. And then, still under cover of darkness, the 666 Lamborghini having a little rotation up at the La Source hairpin. And all the while, it was the Row Racing BMW crew that was working its way ever further forward. Bus stop chicane, still a place of contact and near misses. Super tight corner after the wonderful sweep through Blanchimont. The 117 Porsche, we spent a lot of the race riding on board, enjoying their onboard camera footage. But at this point in the race, when the cars are getting hot and the mechanics flustered, some things just don't go so well at a pit stop. Everything, though, under the gaze of the course officials. Up on the M Sport wall, Matthew Wilson hoping and willing the team to get the repairs done, to get the car back out into the race. But then, with barrier repairs in like 2 hours, the cars were sitting under red flag conditions, stationary on the grid, waiting for the restart. That took place under the safety car. They had a chance to have sighter laps, and then they were released to go racing all over again. Another spinner, this time the 117 Porsche. We spent a lot of the race riding on board with that. Just a little tap there perhaps in the 88 Mercedes. Round it went. Night persevered. Not too cool, but luckily for the drivers and the teams, not too hot. And then a big moment. That's the number 90 Mercedes all over again. Jules Simkowiak was fine, but the car most certainly wasn't. Scratched another one from the race order. Night turned slowly into day. Fans still found in their deck chairs, perhaps been there all night, but what a place to be watching their racing. And then with the safety car leading them round to take yet another restart. It was the BMW in the lead of the race. The GDL Racing Lamborghini limping home, as was the car that started from pole position, the 62 Aston Martin. Rear end body damage. And then suddenly potential for far more damage. The 22 Nissan aflame in the pit lane, but the mechanics and the marshals very, very quick to put that out. Flexing through, and it was the 911 Porsche clattering the Attempto Racing Audi and really pushing it out of the race. And that was another driver penalty. There have been many in the race. The race officials are very, very tough on crime and the causes of crime. No crime at all, though, for the row racing BMW crew leading the race. And then a big problem for Chris Harris. He was clattered up the back, hit, I believe, by the number 53 AF Corsa Ferrari. He had to limp home with a car that was crabbing all over the place. And then the man on the move, Philippe Eng in that 34 BMW, giving little taps to first the number 7 Bentley, hitting the back of Stephen Kane. Later he got up close and personal all over again as he made his way forward. But at this point, Stephen Kane effectively said, okay, come on through, stop rubbing the back of my car. That was the change for 4th position. And Philippe Eng was soon away, despite the heavy acceleration. And this was the moment of the race in all sorts of ways. Unfortunately, Tobias Dauenhauer given a tap up the back. He then spun, and the car that hit him, the 117 Porsche, then was clattered by the car behind and up over the top when the number 8 Bentley heavy damage to both of those. Rather simple spin there for Creton Lendudis. But the repairs went on at Bentley to get that number 8 car fixed. Of course, that rode high over the 117 Porsche. The 117 Porsche had a lot of damage. At first, it looked as though it was going to be fixed, but then eventually it was retired from the race. Debris on the circuit, tyre debris, a bolt as well. That had a full course yellow, so that could be removed. Didn't want that scoring its way through a tyre. The 8 Bentley, there was almost applause all round in the M Sport garage. The repairs were effected in 10 minutes. The car was back in the race. You could see the strain on the faces, but pats on the back, and eventually just breaking into great mirth and happiness, perhaps fired by relief. But it must be said, no relief down for the 117 Porsche crew, because the Team Bernhard car was parked. But then immediately the number 8 car did an outlap, and all the joy and mirth in the M Sport crew came to nothing, because Andy Soucek, as he just completed an outlap, just as he passed pit entry, it cut out, and he parked it and retired it from the race at the foot of Eau Rouge. The number 7 car was still in the mix, running in about 5th place, but then that too hit trouble, and it seemed to be a rear hub problem. And so a lengthy repair has taken place on that car, and it's dropped it down outside the top 30. So a car that was started last had risen to 2nd place, down. How cruel that has been. And this could be a pivotal moment in the race. Look, the number 29 Audi cutting the corner. He did so to avoid 2 back markers who were having a squabble of their own, but he's got a time penalty when he comes in to make his next pit stop. Then the car that started from pole position trickling to a halt out on the circuit. Marvin Kirchhofer got the 62 Aston Martin fired up all over again, got it back to the pits, but there is a team that's had problems. The cars are quick, the Aston Martin very quick indeed when it's running well, but right now it isn't. So leading the race by 16 seconds, it's Christian Cronjes, the Norwegian racer, clear of Alexander Sims. Walkenhorst BMW ahead of Row Racing BMW, waving the flag for Mercedes. Another 15 seconds back is Jelmer Berman, and then Mark, the 25 Audi, very much in the mix. Winkelhock, Vervish and Haas, and then a gap of half a minute back to the Marciello number 88 Mercedes. Leading the way in the Pro-Am class in 16th position overall is the 333 Ferrari at the moment, but that's a battle that changes back and forth with the 42 Mercedes from Straka Racing. 2 positions behind, but as one takes a pit stop, the other assumes the position.